it's pretty well documented at this point that the entire studio of Nickelodeon has done a pretty terrible job at keeping it together. Nickelodeon has seen a lot of controversy, a lot of turmoil. What with Dan Schneider sucking on people's toes? There was a former mega teenage superstar on one of the most popular TV shows on Nickelodeon who just wrote a literal entire book exposing the entire network? Like, how down bad do you have to be for somebody to write an entire 19-chapter novel diss track solely about you? Jeanette McCurdy threw you in a pack and blew you in the air. Rest in piss, bozo. Lost media from Nickelodeon 2022, you know?
This video is brought to you by
hopefully a little bit lighthearted. Hopefully.
Babel. As someone who's been getting more into international pieces
Hopefully there's no secret lost Nickelodeon tape.
Lost media, like Hiro
behind the
or
scenes
Roy
footage.
Despacio, the language barrier is always a challenge.
Zooming in on ankles.
And while I can understand and read Spanish to a certain degree,
that is horrifying. Why is this terrifying? Why is Gibby terrifying me?
in 2012,
I'm gonna have Gibby nightmares now. Like, what is this?
coming off of the success of iCarly, Nickelodeon had plans for 2 spin-offs. The first was Sam and Cat, which was greenlit by the studio and ran for over 30 episodes. The second, however, was called Gibby, and it sadly never aired. It starred Noah
Tragic.
Monk, reprising his role as Gibby, getting into misadventures with 4 new characters. A pilot was shot and edited, yet was never picked up by the network, becoming a piece of Nickelodeon lost media.
Why does just everybody... That would have been the whole trope of the entire TV show. It's just everybody taking their shirts off. That is the punchline for every single episode. Is it just ends with Gibby tearing his shirt off like Hulk Hogan. The Christmas special features the socks coming off, dude.
Ned's Declassified alternate ending. From
Ned's!
2004.
Stop! Ned's was my show back in the day, dude. Ned's was my show. You know, I used to run the middle school. I used to run the hallways, and it's all thanks to Ned. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Ned. Without Ned, I wouldn't have turned into the all-American that I was, you know?
To 2007,
Shout out Ned.
cult classic sitcom Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide was first aired, and it was hugely popular among Nickelodeon fans. Also known as Ned's Declassified, it ran for 54 episodes across 3 seasons, and is still one of the channel's most well-known shows.
One of the best ones.
Main character Ned Bigby shares advice and tips on the perils and pitfalls of adolescence, and how to survive middle school life. But here's where things get weird. Some fans believe that the final episode actually had an alternate ending, which seemingly cannot be found or even confirmed. Titled Guide to Field Trips, Permission Slips, Signs, and Weasels, it was the first and only hour-long episode of the show. And in the official ending, here's how things
That was the one where they went on the field trip,
a weasel, a
and then
triangle,
he realized, he's like, yeah, dude, Susie, she ain't all that, you know what I mean?
some art thieves, and a bulldozer.
And then they like got
The
together.
students arrive to their school to discover that it's been destroyed. But according to some sources, this episode of the show had a supposed alternate ending. Though fans can't seem to agree on what happened in this alternate ending, it
That whole
involved
show's
an alien,
iconic.
or aliens, and some form of fight or battle between the kids and these aliens. Again, no one can quite agree on how it played out, but lots of people seem to remember it occurring. Even stranger,
Aliens!
if you use the Wayback Machine to access the Nickelodeon website,
Aliens!
there is a 20-
Dude, that wasn't part of my middle school curriculum, dude. The war against an alien invasion seeking to eradicate all of humanity, dude. Where's that in the guide? Whereas I don't remember writing that down in my notebook, dude. I just remember writing down how to kiss girls and when a spelling bee.
2011 record of a page titled Ned's Declassified Alternate Ending.
I wasn't prepared for this.
The presence of this page seems to imply that such an ending really did exist, but there's nothing on the page. It doesn't confirm what this alternate ending might have been, and there's no concrete evidence anywhere else online. What's really weird to me is that aliens were never in Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, and never appeared in the show as far as I can remember. So why would it feature an alternate ending with aliens?
Backpack Boy was the plug. The actual literal plug. If you needed some perk 30s, dude, Backpack Boy had them. Like he had everything. Backpack Boy.
So why would it feature an alternate ending with aliens? It's just so bizarre and sounds false. I wouldn't even have known about it if a fan didn't email me about this alternate ending. I mean, does it exist? And if it does, what exactly happened?
Very mysterious.
Brain Surge. Back in September,
I think there was originally supposed to be a sequel called Ned's High School Survival Guide. There's been people who have been wanting like a college survival guide. I think they should do one when they're like 30. You know? Ned's Declassified Adulthood Survival Guide. You know what I'm saying? It shows you how to finesse your taxes. You know what I'm saying? It shows you how to finesse your taxes. It shows you how to pick out the proper color swatches for matching the carpet with the new paint. You know, things like that. It's like take the HGTV channel and Food Network and PBS and put it into one show. Boom. Perfect.
Nickelodeon began airing episodes of a quiz-based game show called Brain Surge, which was inspired by a mysterious Japanese game show named Brain Survivor. Brain Surge was in some ways similar to Nickelodeon's mega-famous Funhouse, but a little more kooky and controversial. For the first 2 seasons of the quiz, each episode featured 6 contestants and 3 rounds. The questions and challenges included visual puzzles, slime-covered contestants, category quizzes, art sounds.
Dude! Brain Surge was one of those shows that used to piss me off. This was one of those shows that used to piss me off because I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, these contestants are like the dumbest people I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, is this the one where they're doing like the maze on the floor? Because I'm like, dude, you stepped on the wrong square 3 times in a row. What makes you think it's going to be right a 4th time? Now you're only down to 15 seconds and you've got 4 tiles to go. You fucking dweeb. Like, I used to get so mad at this show knowing that I would just sweep and dominate everybody.
Foam-filled slides, memory tests, concentration games, a segment featuring Jeff's Big Book of Super Fantastic True Chronicles of True That Are Absolutely True, and lots more weird and wacky stuff. Loud, garish, brash, and silly, contestants were encouraged to be as crazy as possible, and episodes were outrageously over the top. During Season 3, the format was changed, and instead became known as Family Brain Surge. Each episode featured 5 teams of 2 people, and each team was made up of 1 young person, along with one of their older relatives. Though 120 episodes of Brain Surge were filmed, only about 90 have been recovered in their entirety, and many of these episodes have been found, then lost again, then found again, only to be lost again. Some were found on YouTube, them. Many were found on Google Drive.
I'm telling you, somebody has them in their attic. Their grandma bought them from an old editor of the show at a yard sale. Grandma died 7 years ago of a heart attack, and the box has been collecting dust in the attic for years, right? 3 generations go by, they finally decide to move into the house Grandma passed down. They inherited the house. It's now haunted. They need to bring an exorcist in there to cleanse the spirit of the house, dude.
Lots were discovered in various other places. Most interestingly, Many fans
Somebody's got
believe in
it.
the existence of an unaired and never found pilot episode, as some footage from an early Brain Search promo was never seen in any of the aired episodes. Fans have tried to locate this pilot, along with the other missing episodes, but have had no success. Show host Jeff Sutphin has even claimed that he nor the studio have access to any other episodes of the show. When Brain Search producer Derek Bartholomew
Some
was
guy
asked
named Gerald.
if he
He's
had
got
any
it.
other episodes in his possession,
Contact
he
every
replied
Gerald
that the
you
problem
know.
with releasing them
They will
lay
get
in,
it.
quote, conflicting rights issues, but expressed hope that the situation might change in the future. So, who knows? One day, we might just get to see every last Brain Surge episode, every last Strange segment, and every last slime cover contestant.
Somebody's gonna find it. Somebody's gonna find like an old VHS recording of like all of the lost episodes. And they're gonna be like, this is useless, and they're just gonna throw it out. It's gonna go to the dump, never to be found again. Lost forever. Truly a
Gordon
sad
Blair.
tale. I'm tearing up. Gordon who?
Next up, a show that, although once lost, might now be fully recovered.
The
This
hell
is a
this?
strange piece of claymation, and it was first featured on US television sometime in 2004 or 2005.
The hell is this?
This short-lived stop-motion series featured the strange mishaps of a disaster-attracting chef. But it wasn't just any old culinary mastermind. Instead, the chef was a wacky frog who spoke in a strange French accent.
Je m'appelle Gordon Blair.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Excessive and over the top, the show was bold, brash, and bizarre. Plot points included sentient
Interesting.
gingerbread men, a tongue-biting
Looks
lobster,
horrifying.
kitchen calamities, an evasive pigeon, lots of loud noise,
I probably would have hated it.
and
if
a
I'm
whole
being
load
honest.
of disgusting-looking food.
Looking at it, I would have. I'm switching
According
over
to
to
the vast
Foster's.
majority of online information,
You know,
it seems that only 3 episodes
switching over
were
to the
ever
Food
made.
Network.
And since 3 episodes have been discovered, it appears that this show is no longer lost.
I'm watching Rachel
Though
Ray.
it's
I
still
am not
strangely
watching
labeled
this.
as
Absolutely
partially
not.
found on the Lost Media Wiki. In total, these 3 episodes clock in at around 5 minutes. So although some people remember the show fondly, it's a pretty niche lost media memory. And it's definitely one of the oddest shows that Nickelodeon have ever produced.
I've never seen that before in my life. Probably because I was busy watching Rachel
Wienerville.
Ray.
The Wacky Wienerville.
Interesting. Very interesting.
The Wacky Wienerville
I'm very heavily interested in this one. For some odd reason. Not sure why.
originally aired from July 1993 to February 1996.
Huh.
A bizarre variety show that took place on a giant puppet stage.
Uh-huh. What
by-
the fuck is this? Hold on. What is going on?
Comedian and puppeteer Mark Wiener. Most characters were played by Wiener himself.
Why does this look like fucking... What was that iCarly bit? Where he's like a baby?
Including leather-wearing teenager Socko, gum-chewing rock musician Cocktail Frank, the long-suffering mayor Wienerville, pun-cracking Captain Bob, and a belligerent parody of Barney the Dinosaur.
What the hell
Mark
is
Wiener even
this?
played a version of himself as the official presenter of the show, and the guy responsible for trying to hold all the chaos together.
It's like The Price is
Most of
Right.
the puppets were presented in a unique way. To play the various characters,
This is horrifying. That is absolutely terrifying.
Wiener
What
would
is-
place his own head
Why, their heads are humongous.
into a hole above a miniature puppet body. This has since become a hugely popular way to
Oh, Chris, hey, that's just like you. Big head, little body. Ha ha ha, so funny.
above a miniature puppet body. This has since become a hugely popular way to present puppets, making the show massively influential. The entire show was set in the fictional city of Wienerville and featured over 100
Wienerville.
characters with various appearances and accents.
Hey, I'm from Wienerville.
While most well known for its cast of curious puppets, the show also included
Honestly, I'd rather be from Wienerville than from Kansas.
games, audience interactions, stand-up comedy, and even other cartoons. Interspersed during the show were screenings of Betty Boop, Mr. Magoo, Popeye, and others. More than 60 episodes of the show were made, including several seasonal specials. Over half of these episodes have been found, but around 20 remain lost. Because there have only been reruns of 4 different episodes since way back in 1997, it seems increasingly unlikely that the missing episodes will ever resurface. Since it's a pretty old show, and because very few reruns occurred, Wienerville isn't really well remembered. But at
I've
the
never
time,
seen that before in my
it
life.
was hugely popular and received lots of viewers' attention and award
Considering it
nominations.
was copyrighted before I was born, but that's
But
fine.
despite its popularity,
Looks
it was
terrifying.
canceled after only 2 seasons.
It's like a white Stevie Wonder.
It was allegedly canceled because, during the mid-90s,
because it's traumatizing.
Nickelodeon wanted the channel to be a bit different, and Wienerville seemingly didn't fit the channel's new direction. According to one user at the Lost Media Wiki, Mark Wiener is in possession of all the episodes, even those which are lost.
Okay. Now, somebody needs to tie him up and torture him until he reveals the location of those lost episodes. That's what we need to do. We need to attach jumper cables to his nipples. Duct tape him to a chair. You know, we gotta get it out of him.
That user, although what they say may not be necessarily true, claims to have emailed Mark Wiener, and now Wiener replied, stating that these episodes, quote, are unable to be released because the rights to the show are owned by Nickelodeon. So although there's a small chance that the episodes might resurface one day, it looks to be a pretty unlikely prospect. By the way,
I think he should just drop them all on YouTube. Create like a secret YouTube channel. You know? With no profile picture and just the dumb... They got some dumb usernames on Twitter. Like Greg, you know? Like, do that. Upload it under Greg.
this one takes us all the way back to
Nobody
1979.
will ever know.
By the Way was one of Nickelodeon's first ever 5 shows. The other 4 being Pinwheel, Video Comics, America Goes Bananas, and Nickelflix.
What?
Running for only 1 year and 1 season, it was first known by its in-development name, Pocket Money. A rudimentary combination of animation and live action, By the Way was led by a female character named Josie, who typically presented her skits with a backdrop of mountains or forests.
What is going on?
These wrap
There's a glitch in the Matrix, dude. The demon possessing her soul is attempting to escape. Do you see what is going on?
around segments
She's eating a little too many of the mushrooms there.
were peppered with various cartoons, one of which was allegedly named Froggy Went a Courtin'. It seemed wholesome, heartfelt, and educational,
This looks like the
and
beginning of
hugely
Blue's
different to
Clues.
what Nickelodeon became known for in the future. But aside from these details, little else is known about the show, and only around 10 minutes remain. When it was first released, a newspaper article described the show as follows, quote, By the Way is a freewheeling, wide-ranging program for children ages 7 to 12, structured to make kids aware of the ever-changing issues to be dealt with, along with the path of life. By the Way explores children and the world around them. It looks at their problems and adventures, the real world and the fantasy world,
Jaden Smith
What
would
came
love
before?
this.
and what is yet to come. Seems almost
Oh, he'd be all over
philosophical.
that.
The character of Josie was played by Andrea Hellman, who later became much more well known for writing children's books. Because very little is known about the show, we can't be sure how many episodes were produced. What
This looks
happened
like
to
one of those.
episodes.
This looks like one of those analog horrors, where it's Jorge's narrating over it, but if I watch the original, it's some like creepy ambient music and like the VHS crackling noises and shit.
That were released,
I'm like uneasy.
or why it was canceled.
I'm uncomfortable.
This
Josie's
is a weird
gonna like
entry,
slice
so
my throat.
if you know anything more about By the Way, or even have any footage, please let us know in the comments below. Nick Studios 10. From February to June 2013, Nickelodeon unsuccessfully launched an experimental live studio skit-based show named Nick Studios 10. Partially, It served as a platform to rerun popular favorites, including SpongeBob SquarePants, Fairly OddParents, and others. But interspersed between the reruns of these shows, and sometimes interrupting right in the middle of episodes, was Nick Studios 10. The show was made up of the zany antics of 14 actors.
Hell no!
They featured strange and...
Oh, hell no! I better not be in the middle of watching a SpongeBob episode, sipping on a juice box, enjoying my Thursday evening, and halfway through the episode, it cuts to this fucking bozo doing a jackass prank, shooting a nail gun in his ass or something, dude. Hell no. Hell no.
Random skits, intentionally controversial challenges, and viral videos. One of the most famous recovered clips features the teens asking Janae McCurdy and Ariana Grande to sip on disgusting savory smoothies made from olives, cheese, and other undesirable ingredients. It was partially filmed.
Hey, that was chapter 12 of that Janae McCurdy book. She's like, the day I had the sip. The big sip. That's the title of the chapter. The big sip.
And it had a no-frills, low-budget style, which was popular at the time. But although that style was popular, Nick Studios 10 was really not. Universally panned, pretty much all critics and audiences hated the show, and were especially critical of the non-sequitur interruptions of the fan-favorite cartoons.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm sitting here enjoying a nice, lovely episode of Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Walking Pants, and all of a sudden it cuts halfway through, and this guy's got a big red button that blows up half a city, dude. Wonderful.
Viewers also complained that the purposely gonzo style was obnoxious.
Can I get back to Jimmy
disgusting,
Neutron, please?
And that the hosts themselves were annoying and unfunny. Lots of people took to social media to complain and criticize the show.
Right, like imagine trying to watch some form of content and then all of a sudden somebody just keeps continuously interrupting, babbling on, yelling like an idiot about things that you absolutely do not care about, dude. I would hate that. Wouldn't be able to stand it.
The Nick Studios 10 social media account would bite back, insulting those who criticized the show on Twitter. These tweets were later deleted, an apology was issued, and the account was removed. Even in hindsight, the show is in no way fondly remembered, as a current IMDb rating of 1.1, making it one of the most unpopular Nickelodeon shows of all time, and by a very long way.
I get a 1.1.
A small number of clips have survived, but very little.
Pretty sure Sharknado got at least
each episode ran for 2 hours. Because the show was so unpopular, there is little demand for finding any new footage, so it's unlikely that any more will resurface in the future. Maybe large parts of
maybe it's
Nick
probably
Studios
good that this
10
one's
are
lost.
lost forever.
Like, keep it lost.
And maybe that's a good thing.
Keep it lost. Is that Big Time Rush? Let's fucking
Nick
go!
News. Largely
Nick?
sensible
Oh,
Nick News.
hell! Dude! Oh! Nick News used to piss me off. What was her name? Linda? Fuck you, Linda! You ruined my fucking mood, dude. I used to get so mad at Nick News. I don't know why. I have no idea why. It was so boring to me. Like, it was so boring. I used to hate it. Like, I used to love watching it. I'm watching iCarly, dude. Having a time of my life, dude. The episode's over. Oh, hell yeah, it's gonna cut to a new Big Time Rush. No, Nick News with fucking Linda. Dude, fuck Linda, bro. The hell?
Aired on Nickelodeon for a very long
Nick
time.
News.
Featuring semi-regularly on the channel from the early 1990s.
Linda is spreading. Linda Ellerby, that lady. She's over here spreading the radical liberal agenda to the youth, trying to indoctrinate. Fucking Linda.
All the way to 2015. But as you might have worked out for yourself,
Linda, dude.
This one's a little different from all the other Nickelodeon shows we've covered. Instead of being an entertainment piece, Nick News was instead a magazine-style series aimed at educating children and teenagers on various topics and timely themes.
Dude, I used to hate. I used to click And now, Nick News with Linda L. Click. We're here at a diner in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I've heard it's dynamite, dude. Like, I'm not watching this shit.
Specific issues like peer pressure, drug dangers, video games, school shootings, alcoholic parents, and the benefits and struggles of education. But it also covered current affairs, including 9/11, the Gulf Wars, AIDS, HIV, same-sex parents, and various other topical themes. While it sometimes ran weekly, other periods only saw
I watched about half of one, and I think it was for childhood obesity. I remember one of those.
sporadic specials. In total, it's thought that there were around 180 episodes, but most sources can't seem to agree on an exact figure. Hosted by Linda Ellerby, an experienced and respected journalist and former NBC anchorwoman, it was a surprisingly serious show and completely contrasted with the vast majority of Nickelodeon's regular output. Ellerby hosted the show for its entirety. It ran for a surprisingly lengthy 25 years, making it one of the network's longest running shows.
25? What?
The final episode of this run aired in December 2015 and was titled, quote, "Hello, I Must Be Going. 25 Years of Nick News with Linda Ellerby." Because the show was informative rather than entertaining, and it'll likely remain a piece of partially lost Nickelodeon media forever. Some of the most important and influential episodes were released on VHS and DVD, but large parts of the show have understandably
Bill
been
Clinton on Nick News? Listen, kids. If you have a woman in the Oval Office, be careful.
lost. Interestingly, Nick News was revived in 2020 and is still running now. Each episode of the show's current
Oh, fuck, dude. Do they have Linda?
version clocks in at 60 minutes, with 13 episodes so far.
Oh, God, dude. Nick News in 2022 must be absolutely insane, dude. Imagine, like, some little kid, he's just watching SpongeBob, and then it just switches over to Nick News, right? And then it just starts talking about vaccines, right? And then his mom, like, walks in, "Billy, what are you watching? Are you kidding me? This is nothing but fake news." She beats the shit out of Billy.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
She puts parental controls on the TV, and now the only channel he can watch is Nick News.
It's probably the strangest and most disturbing
Good job,
entry on
Mom.
our list. This little known oddity was thought to be lost forever, with lots of Reddit users taking to the platform to discuss and dissect their vague memories. All that seemed to remain was a very brief still from an ancient Nicktoons
The
bumper
hell is
and many
this?
hazy recollections. But after lots of fishing and searching, it was rediscovered in June 2022.
What?
Oh Dear is an animated 2-minute short film created by artist Ji-wook Kim. I hope I'm saying that right.
Ji-wook.
In
Shut up,
2004.
Ji-wook.
It was screened as part of the Nicktoons Film Festival in 2005, which was shown at the California Institute of Arts University and on the Nicktoons Network.
It's kind of creepy.
On the Nicktoons Film Festival DVD, the short film was described as follows.
Kind of
Quote,
creepy.
"While an old lady watches TV, her cat witnesses the odd goings-on in the living room." But in truth, the film is much more strange than its brief synopsis suggests, looking more like it was crafted by David Firth than for
Who's
a
that
Nickelodeon
guy?
Film Festival. It's largely monochrome
These
and
damn
strangely grainy,
kids.
and features a creepy, crackling soundtrack. In the short film, a droopy-faced old woman watches TV.
Bro just hit himself a lick. Poor Grandma Bessie, oblivious. She's blind and deaf. She has been sitting on that same chair for 3 days, watching non-stop reruns of Seinfeld.
Behind her, someone
And
breaks
little
into her
homie just
home
came in and hit himself
steals a
a
lamp.
devious lick.
Shortly after, a creepy giant emerges upside down from the ceiling.
That is
The woman
horrifying.
and her cat then look at one another. The woman says, "Kitty, kitty." The cat meows and purrs, and the scene fades to black. So, yeah. Although the short film was pretty niche and unusual, Ji-woo Kim has gone on to massive success,
The giant is the real.
receiving animation credits for
The
Futurama,
real pet.
Fairly Odd Parents, The Simpsons movie, and more.
Dude.
Do you know any more Nickelodeon lost media?
I don't, but I do know that Nickelodeon needs to get their shit together, because there's a lot of badass things out there that are missing. Like, I need to see that alternate Ned's declassified ending when they're in an epic intergalactic duel with an alien invading race seeking to eradicate all of humanity. I would have loved to see Ned Bigby and Cookie cooking up some tag team on that one, dude. That would have been hard. Brain Surge. Brain Surge was just dope. I fuck with Brain Surge. Gordon Blue, Sacre Blue. I don't even know what the hell that was. Wienerville looks to be probably one of the greatest pieces of children media to ever be created. And I need to watch every single available episode of Wienerville immediately, dude. The rest of them seem like things that should always be forever lost in time to prevent a traumatic experience from children similar to those that I experienced as a small child myself. Otherwise, Nickelodeon really gotta get it together.